Speaking of maybe not one of the best of our generation, one of the
If you're
most
if you're segueing to what I think you are, we're about to have a real big beef.
oh, I segued that way on purpose because I know you would very much enjoy it. I will call it one of the most memorable of our generation. A career came to an end over the weekend. WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg has wrestled his final match. He fell in defeat to Gunther at Saturday night's main event. And you mentioned it a few minutes ago, man. Gunther got a lot out of Goldberg. It was one of Goldberg's better WWE showings, counting his 2003 run. I mean, I put it up there with one of his best WWE matches ever.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about recency, I mean, I think it's hard to count his first match back against Brock because it was just so quick, but it's probably my favorite one of his recent run. And then he had that like random match against Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam a couple years ago that he just killed Dolph, and Dolph sold for him like a madman.
Dolph makes anybody look good though.
Yeah, but so like that's up there. But for like a bell to bell wrestling match, this was one of the better ones from Goldberg over the last couple of years. Gunther made him look kind of like the old Goldberg a little bit, and just kind of sold around for him without sacrificing his own character. And that's, I think, what I appreciate the most is I don't think there's anybody in his second run in WWE outside of Brock and now Gunther that Goldberg did not wrestle and that person came out looking better. Like I even when they beat him, I don't really see that. I mean, like if you look at what happened with The Fiend, if you look at what happened with Kevin Owens, I think the only other one maybe Braun Strowman because of the COVID year, but that was so I don't really count that one either because it was just so wild. But it was a fantastic retirement match, exactly what it needed to be. Goldberg hit all the big moves, he did all the things. His entrance, I actually really enjoyed his entrance of the former WCW security guy knocking on his door and being surrounded by his friends and family and you know his friend, everybody around him. And then coming out, it was a really, really cool moment. But thank God Gunther won. That's all I was thinking the whole time is, yeah, this is great. Gunther needs to win. Please let Gunther win. And he did. And I'm happy for that.
I had no doubt in my mind that Goldberg was not winning this match. I didn't think that Gunther would choke him out. I thought we would get a pin, but you know, it is what it is. I wasn't mad at it. And yes, you pointed it out. Doug Dillinger accompanying him to the ring just like he did in the 90s. Oh, it was so good. I just wish they hadn't shown Doug earlier in the night so that because they spoiled it.
Yeah, but to be honest, if I saw him at the front at the door knock on Goldberg, I'd be going, I don't know who this dude is. So the fact that they kind of said it beforehand made that moment even better.
Yeah.
So I kind of get why they did it.
It definitely brought me back to seeing Goldberg when he looked, I don't know, more like this back in 1998, carrying the big gold belt and as jacked up as he was walking through those fireworks there, as you're seeing on your YouTube screen. Andy, I know that you missed this run of Goldberg because you were a wee little toddler, but I remember like it was yesterday. But obviously you have gone on record several times on this podcast to say that the majority of your memories of Goldberg are bad. And you would rather not have had Goldberg. But now that his career is over, when you look back at it, he was easily one of the most captivating wrestlers of all time and literally just took the wrestling world by storm. And you can easily see, Andy, why Eric Bischoff strapped the dang rocket to his back and had 173 straight wins in the late 90s and just made him the face of WCW out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a huge Goldberg fan. I've gone on record to say that, but I've also acknowledged that his first run in WCW and his just appearance alone, it all makes sense why they did what they did. Because he was the only guy on the roster who looked just absolutely intimidating. I get it. Like Kevin Nash is a big dude, and Scott Hall was a big dude, and some like Sting's a big dude. But there ain't nobody the size of Goldberg until Brock Lesnar came along. Like there ain't nobody the size of Bill Goldberg. And yeah, he wasn't the greatest wrestler, but he wrestled in a time where you didn't have to be the greatest wrestler to be a massive draw.
Or in a company where you didn't have to be the greatest
Exactly.
wrestler.
And that, and you know what? It worked for them at the time.
Yep.
It was a strength of theirs, and they led into it. They laid all their cards out on the table. And Goldberg helped WCW be as successful as it was. And I don't think there's any arguments, against that as well. And you see that, I mean, that picture you showed of him in the pyro holding that WCW championship belt. He's, weirdly enough, when I see that belt, he's one of the first guys I think of.
Yes.
When I see that belt, just because of the impact of the night he won it and everything that kind of happened with it. Just, a very historic career. Kind of hurts me to say this, deservedly to be in the Hall of Fame, deserved to be revered by many. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I know that I'm a big fan of that I know they're not a good wrestler. Right. And that's fine because they're entertaining. Yep. And that's what Bill Goldberg was, is he was entertaining all the time. And he was never really playing a character. He was him just ramped up to 1,000. And we always say that's what makes a professional wrestler the best, is when they just are themselves times 10. And that's what he was.
July 14th, 2025, 10:15 Central Time. Andy has just said the nicest thing about Bill Goldberg he's ever said in his life.
Can I tell you what was in my mind the whole time while I'm talking?
Oh, no.
The picture of the replay of him pinning Kevin Owens and the Fiend in my head over and over again. So as I'm talking, my blood is still boiling a little bit, but that's okay.
I choose to look back at the happier times of Bill Goldberg, even the Roman Reigns match in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah.
The Drew McIntyre match at the Royal Rumble.
I forgot about those two until you just mentioned them. Yeah.
Oh, still some good things. And of course, the Dolph thing is just the best part of the Dolph thing is him calling Goldberg back to the ring and telling him that he needed more. And is that all you got? About that's just so good.
That was a good moment.
Oh my goodness.